everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Life West Leadership Line. Today, I have a chiropractic extraordinaire from San Jose, California, Dr. Mindy Pelz. Welcome, Mindy.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. If you don't know about Mindy, which a lot of you do know about Mindy, she's actually going to be a speaker at the Wave this year. Mindy has been practicing for around 24 years. I think, Mindy, we got to know each other about 22 years ago. Correct?
Yep, when I was a baby.
Yep, and you're certainly not a baby anymore. You're
no, I'm not.
All over the place. You're blowing up all over the place. Mindy, she's going to talk to us about social media. She's going to talk to us about things that she's doing in her practice that make her practice so unique and special. And the job that she's doing, not just, she's huge in the philosophy of chiropractic, but she also has tackled other things like toxin levels, physical, chemical, emotional, the toxin level. But let's dive into it, Mindy, because we want to make sure that we get all meat. We don't want a lot of fluff around here. So anyways, I kind of did the lead in a little bit, but share with us about your practice.
Yeah, so, oh my gosh, my practice has morphed in 24 years. So I started off as a subluxation-based chiropractor. I was, adjusting people, 100 plus a day, and was focused on just, removing subluxations. And I did that for about 15 years. And
you still do that?
I still do that. Yeah, still do that. Thank you for, I know. It's funny because people think like if you've shied away from doing that all the time, somehow you've left the philosophy, and that couldn't be any further from the truth.
Exactly.
So, but I would say at 15 years in, I realized that there was something else the human body was going through. And I felt like, what am I missing? Do I need to change diet? Do I need to detox these people? Like there's something else here. And about that time, Wheat Belly had come out. And I thought, I thought the solution was I'm going to get everybody off gluten and it'll change the world. But really it morphed into a very large nutrition and detox practice where I just started to see the chemical barrage that patients were under was affecting the results that I was working on getting with just, with the chiropractic adjustment. Right. So we went from a family practice to a family practice with nutrition and detox. And, now we've added in some really cool things like hyperbaric oxygen and PEMF and things that are all line up with innate. And how do we help innate out in this modern world, the place that we're sitting right now? Because I was at a seminar and somebody said to me, the body you're adjusting today is different than the body you adjusted years ago. And I didn't get it when the speaker said it, and I was driving home and I'm like, what does that mean? And now I realize it. I'm like, the body today is different. It's under different stressors.
Yeah, absolutely. When you talk about that, the stressors, because, obviously, you have a chiropractic practice, right? Because you're correcting, when people come in, you're correcting subluxations, right? You're allowing
absolutely.
The best of its ability, right?
Yep.
And I remember we had a conversation where you were telling me that you just start seeing people coming back with the same thing over and over again until you figured out that what's going on, physically, chemically, and emotionally, and what really hit was on that chemical level, right? And that's the stressors that you're talking about, correct?
Yeah, because when you have 100% belief in innate, and you're delivering a very similar adjustment that you did years ago, but the symptoms seem to still be manifesting. It was like I didn't distrust the innate. It was like, what else is innate being, what else is attacking it? What else is it dealing with that I'm not addressing? Yeah. And that's where the chemical came in for me.
Well, and so like I said before, we'll talk about this a little bit. I know you're on YouTube.
Yeah.
I know I'll ask you because other people might not, but we've known each other so long, I'll ask you anything, right?
Yeah.
How many followers on YouTube?
We have about 155,000 subscribers on YouTube right now. Yeah.
Wow. It's huge.
It's awesome. It's very unexpected, but it's awesome.
Well, that's what happens when you're living an innately driven life. Things happen, right? Because you're not planning them to happen. It's innately, right? So 155,000 on YouTube. How many on Facebook?
So we have a closed group of 30,000 that we all fast together, and then we have on my other page, there's another 30,000 over there.
So like 65,000, 60,000, and Instagram.
20,000 on Instagram right now.
So you're affecting, if I did my math correctly, I'm going to round them out to 150, right? And 20 is 170,000 with another 60, 70,000.
Yeah.
200, Mindy, that's incredible. These are individual people. And, most chiropractors, when they talk about numbers, you usually have to divide by 2. And that's about 20%, right?
Yeah.
But these are real numbers. Tell me what you're doing with that. Because obviously you're reaching a lot of people and they're hearing about chiropractic, they're hearing about the power in their body. I know you're on my Instagram feed, and I love everything that you put out.
Thank
how
you.
You respond to people, and you tell them to trust your body, and that kind of stuff. What are you doing with it?
Yeah. Well, I think the first precursor to that is that I started going on to social media because I got really upset with SB 277 when it got passed here in California. I realized that the problem was that people didn't believe in their bodies, that they had no faith in the miracle that they were living in. So out of frustration, I got my phone, picked it up, and just started educating people. Like, this is what pain is. This is what a fever is. I did a health talk. I just did, you're powerful. You're a miracle. And I started seeing that people were like responding to that. They're like, oh my gosh, thank you. Nobody's ever taught me that. So it just grew. And then I thought, well, we have to do something together as a group. And so what can we do that would teach innate? And so I started teaching fasting, and I started showing people that all these different levels of fast, what would happen is that you turn on this intelligence inside the body, and people just took that information and gobbled it up. And so what we now do is we fast together every month. We take 5 days out of every month. We're actually in one right now. We call it Fast Training Week. And I go on live to all my platforms, and we educate, and we say, it's amazing, Ron, because when people are like, I'm experiencing this symptom and this symptom, I always get to flip it and be like, well, let's think about what your body is doing right now. Why would your body be doing that? And so it has become, I didn't even realize this, but it has become the most amazing way to teach innate intelligence to somebody. Take their food away from them. And then show them that the body's a miracle.
Yeah, exactly. And they'll listen to anything when their food's away, right?
Right. Then they're like wide open.
And when the food comes back.
Yeah.
So right now, you're in a 5-day fast, or whatever, week fast, whatever. Yeah. How many people do you think you got, roughly?
We probably have close to 100,000 people participating in it right now.
That's great.
And you know what? We actually have, this is another cool story about it. We found out that there was a tribe in Australia that one of the leaders had gotten a hold of my YouTubes, and he taught his group of Aborigines women the power of fasting through my YouTubes. And he told us he started seeing them reversing diabetes and all these things. And I was like, what? Like, somehow I'm affecting these people in Australia, this Aborigines tribe in Australia. It blew my mind.
Well, BJ said it, right? You never know how far reaching.
You never know. Yeah.
It's just what happens. But what's really cool is this, and like I said, I follow you, on Instagram. You're always pulling up my feed when I get a chance to open it. But what's really cool is that, people are experiencing miracles, and they're actually, the thing that you're not even really touching on is, the spiritual aspect of fasting, because it is. And when people start. But what you are touching on that they don't know on the spiritual level is that gives them power of their body, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you know what I always tell people? I'm like, when they're like, oh my God, I dropped weight. All of a sudden, like all these, like people have like moles fall off and like pain goes away and like their blood work changes. And all we did is teach them how to fast. I always say, you know what? Here's the problem is that you're living in a Lamborghini. Like your body is like this fine-tuned sports car. It's just nobody gave you the manual. Nobody taught you how to take care of it. So what ends up happening is they turn it inside. It's not like I didn't do it. I just taught them how to do it. Yeah. And they all of a sudden get their own power back. It's the most rewarding thing I think I've done in 24 years.
Listen, as chiropractors, as anyone in the healing profession, it's all about teaching them that they've got the power within them. We know that. This is actually not just teaching them, but it's showing them. They actually experience it, right?
Yeah.
it's truly incredible. And I know that just for our viewers, it's not like Mindy says, don't eat for 5 days or don't eat for 7 days.
No, we progress them.
Yeah, they go through different things, and some of them are doing autophagy, some of them are doing different things. And there's different ways that they can do it, and however they jump on, and it's just so beautiful.
Yeah, it's incredible
to watch that progression. It's really cool. And then you're teaching them intermittent fasting and things like that, right?
Yeah, we have 7 different fasts. So we tell them always to like progress through the fasts. And then what's really been fun is to go and show them the science. Like at 15 hours, this is what your cells are doing. At 17 hours, this is what's going on. At 24 hours. So it literally is like retraining people to get that there's a wisdom in here that they just aren't being taught it. And then, when they doubt it, we just show them the science. We bring the science up from PubMed, and we're like, well, just here, you go take this to your doctor, and you guys go have a good discussion about it.
I love it. Arm them, right? Arm them with the bullets. Good. Now take this over there and show them what's going on.
That's right.
And then under chiropractic care, of course, it just gets amplified.
Oh, you know how many people we've been able to refer to chiropractors across the world? It's unreal. It's like when they ask me questions, I'm like, "Are you getting chiropractic care?" Because now they believe. Now they're like, "Oh, what else can I do to maximize this intelligence?" And it's like you just opened the conversation. And so we can now really start to spread people into chiropractic offices.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And thank you, because you know what? You're turning people onto there so that, one of the biggest things I believe that we can do as chiropractors is let people know that their ability to heal is far greater than they were taught,
Yeah.
And, or even, I don't like the word believe, but, that they even believe, and now they get to experience that. Yeah. But let's go into this. Let's switch tracks for a second. Same track, but just kind of go over here and talk about toxins, because, that was a huge thing. Dee Palmer talked about toxins, and, one of the things that he when it was, toxins, traumas, and, that kind of thing.
Yeah, so that was the other like aha I had in the last 10 years was that the world has become more toxic, and there were a lot of neurotoxic symptoms that I was seeing in my practice, like not sleeping, women having trouble, or a lot of people having trouble losing weight, chronic pain that wasn't going away, hormonal problems. And again, I mean, you're talking to somebody who started my journey, we would adjust these people and it would cure all, I hate to say the word cure, but the body would heal all of that. So why weren't they healing now? And so I started to look at, okay, what would it take to pull toxins out of people? But I don't know about you, I never wanted people to think that like a supplement cured them. Right. I always come back to like this place of like, they have to believe that it's the power within them. I don't want it to be the supplement. I don't want it to be me. And so I found a formula where we really start to teach people how to detox themselves. And we always say, you go in with supplements, you can help get interferences to be removed. And then if you fix your lifestyle up, you don't need those supplements anymore. And so it's been another level of miracle that we've been able to empower people with.
And, Mindy, I don't want to sound demeaning to any of our viewers at all, but the truth is that you can have people taking supplements, right, and eating good and doing that stuff, but if we both know that if they're subluxated, it could just be expensive urine. They can go out and buy the best stuff, but like a Ferrari, if it's out of tune, you can put the best gas in, but you're not going to get the productivity out of it, right?
That's right. Yeah.
So when you unsubluxate them and then they add on these other things, it's just going to be like, man, you're taking that Ferrari and it's going to be the best thing possible.
Yeah. Yeah. And you and I talked about this at the beginning of this, is like the core of what every patient gets in my clinic is chiropractic. They don't skip out of here without that. And then when you add on the other things, it's weird. It's like, I almost would love to go back and talk to the chiropractors that were like in the early 1900s. And, you hear the stories of so many of the miracles. And when I start adding in the nutrition changes and the detoxing and some of the other equipment we do in here onto the adjustment, I get a small little glimmer of what it must have been like to set somebody's atlas, in the 1900s.
Yeah. In a toxic-free world.
A toxic-free world.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And you're exactly right. Because you know what, back then, it was, you know, they were eating clean, their chemicals weren't in their foods, you know, all the air wasn't the way it is now, the water wasn't the way it is now, they weren't drinking water out of a bottle, you know, purified water that's got nothing in it, no minerals, no nothing, you know, and it's like anything, even when we try to be healthy, it's not necessarily leading us to a healthy point of where, you know, it's weird, what a weird thing to say, trying to be trying to be healthy, trying to drink water that's healthy, you know.
Oh yeah. No, you know, it's crazy. I just did a YouTube video this morning on what you should be eating, like immunity for somebody who is on a budget. And it's like, oh my gosh, I sat with the science and I thought, it is so hard to even tell somebody how to eat right that's on a budget because it costs more money to eat healthy. That's wrong. That has to change. So
big time. And you know what the truth is? Fast.
Right.
Like it is the healthiest thing that the body can do. We weren't meant to be, you know, eating 3 meals a day every day and then sugar loads and all the other stuff that we put on top of it, let alone alcoholic drinks and all this stuff. I mean, you know, it's like, and when you fast, it's your body is actually eating, right? It's eating itself, right?
Right. You know, that's right. That's clean. Right. And you know, the conversation again just completely shifts because when you start to teach people how to fast, it's like they don't, all the limiting beliefs go away. Well, I don't have time. Okay. Well, you're fasting. That doesn't take a lot of time.
Wait, you have time to eat, but you don't have time to fast, right?
Right. So then it's like, I don't have the money. Well, you can't use that excuse either.
Right. Costs nothing.
Costs nothing. So like all the limiting beliefs that they had about why they couldn't be healthy and then you actually get to the root cause of like, well, I'm scared. Okay, now let me teach you how amazing your body is going to be. And you just change it just opens people up to really be willing to look within. And that's really what we do.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question, because obviously you've got these couple 100,000 people that are following you all over the world, right? Mm-hmm. And you can't touch every one of them. Right. And your interaction with them might be a little different than it is in your practice, right?
For sure.
So since you've been doing this, and you've been doing this, you know, really big into this biohacking stuff and really good for what, the last how many years?
Couple years, last 3 to 5 years.
Okay, let's say 5 years, okay?
Yeah.
Have you noticed changes in the subluxation patterns of your patients?
Oh yeah. People hold their adjustments like really well now. Yeah. It's like before I implemented this stuff, I felt like I was adjusting them and it was like something wasn't allowing the body to heal. And now that we're like asking ourselves, okay, how do we remove interference? What's the chemical interference? You know, there's an interference right now of light coming in, of blue light coming in through the computer. Like, let's just look at how we remove these interferences. And now let's see what the subluxation pattern is. And people are holding their adjustments and really staying solid more than maybe ever in my practice.
Yeah. So you're probably seeing more people adjusting less, right?
Yes.
Because there's less subluxations. And we always talked about this for years, you know, that it's not about how many adjustments you give. It's about how few adjustments you give, but how many people we check.
Right. That's right. That's exactly right.
That's really what it's about. You know, as chiropractors, our job isn't to adjust. Our job is to check and hopefully not adjust, right?
That's right.
To find the people being clear, you know.
Right.
And I can't tell you, I mean, I've heard so many people talk about this, you know, that they just saw the same pattern after pattern and they shifted something and the patterns changed. And it's really all about the same thing, right? Getting the body to be functioning to the highest level.
So, you know what, I had like this aha moment, you know, a couple years back that if you go back to the cave person day, like that, the human body back then and the human body right now is the same. The mechanics haven't changed. There has been no upgrade. It's been the same thing. But the environment we're sitting in is dramatically different. So when I kind of thought about that, I was like, well, what is it in this environment that is damaging and slowing the power of innate down? And that's when I then went back to the green books and I was like, okay, the 3 T's, what am I doing for the 3 T's for each of these patients? I've been so focused on the physical traumas, but what about, you know, the chemical traumas? What about the emotional traumas? And then I started to look at it from the lens of the modern world. And it was like, oh, okay, let me start to remove those interferences so innate can do its job in the glorious way that it does.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's really interesting that you said that because, we buy cars, and cars today are so different. I bought one of the first Teslas that came out when the Model S came out, the very first year it came out, right? And when I just saw a video yesterday on Tesla, when I was traveling back over here, Mount Mary and I were just gone in our home in Montana. And the video that I saw showed the upgrades, right? And I thought the same exact thing. My God, they're just upgraded. It's phenomenal. Computers now, the computer for what I'm on right now is this big. The computer, like literally.
Amazing.
Looks like one of those drives that you used to back your computer up to. That's the whole computer. It's just the upgrades are incredible, but yet our body has never ever needed an upgrade. And it doesn't need an upgrade. It
doesn't need one.
Now,
It's
perfect. Yeah. Teaching people that perfection is really what it's about, right? How do they understand that they've got this perfect body?
Yeah. And you actually got me thinking, because I think what's happening is people are trying to get the upgrade. So they go to the surgery, they go to the next medication. They're using the upgrade mindset, but what they forget is that it was perfection made. It never needed an upgrade. Right. I'm going to start using that. I love that.
Yeah, because it's true, isn't it? I mean, it's like, that baby is born with everything it needs. I mean, there's nothing that baby doesn't need except milk, breast milk, right? It just needs something inside of it to, nutritionally, right? But otherwise, it's fine, and it's going to grow as it grows. It's just incredible. And I love what you're doing. I love that you're spreading chiropractic to, 200,000+ people, Aborigines, all of those great, all these things that are happening. It's beautiful, and it's only going to grow,
Yeah. Well, one of the things I got to this place where I was like, I remember I was sitting in my office one day and I'm like, it does me no good to stay in my office with this message. I got to get this message out to the world. And when I first went to social media, I would get messages from people that would say to me, why are you giving so much information away? Like, shouldn't you be charging for this? And in my heart, I was like, no, I have just now found a whole nother platform that I can go and educate people. I'm not trying to drive people into my office. Now, it did drive a lot of people into my office. I'm trying to get the message out, and hallelujah, we have a platform to do that. And then I found this tool through fasting that just allowed it all to click.
Yeah, I love it. Mindy, I want to ask you something. I want to ask you about your vision, where you see chiropractic as we wind down this podcast. But before I do that, how do people get a hold of you? How do they follow you? Like, what? And Shane, our wonderful producer Shane, will put this on the bottom of the screen. But how do they follow you on YouTube and on Instagram? What's it?
Yeah, you can. So my YouTube is where I'm putting 2 videos out a week, and it's Dr. Mindy Pelz. So go there, you'll get all the science. And here's what I tell people: take my science, take my information, and go put it on your platforms, and let's get this out to the masses. So if you're a chiro listening to this, like, take it and educate people. Yeah. So that's on YouTube. And then if you want to fast with us, you can do. It's called the Resetter Collaborative. And it's on Facebook. It's a closed group. You just have to request to join. Answer the 3 questions. If you don't answer the questions, we don't let you in. It's a little secret I'll teach you. And then on Instagram, what my team does is they take my videos and then they turn them into squares and they put it on Instagram. So we have a pretty good educational system there.
And under Instagram, say that just Dr. Mindy
Same thing. Pelz. It's all my name, Dr. Mindy Pelz. Yeah.
Okay, good. And if there's chiropractors or other healing professions viewing us right now, and they want their patients to look at fasting, they can just direct them over, right? You don't sell them anything.
Nope.
They just go in and they get great information. They got a big support group, like right now, 1,000 people fasting together. And people are messaging and doing that stuff.
Yeah. And, we've actually had some offices that will join one of our fasts together with the lead doc, and then they just do it on their own. I'm just delivering the information. So that's a possibility too.
Yeah, and I just, from my heart, I just want to tell the docs out there, fast. Just do it. If you haven't fasted much. Mindy, you and I spoke, we speak all the time, but a couple of years ago, and I've been fasting. I eat 1 meal a day every week. I usually fast for 48 hours, and then I'll fast for 72 hours, or sometimes do a 5-day fast. It depends on what I'm feeling and where I'm at in my life and the busyness of it. But it is the discipline that comes out of it. That's probably my word. And my brain might say Ron Overstein, father, husband, discipline, kind of deal, because I'm so into disciplines.
Yes.
It's just one of the most beautiful things, because it really spiritually awakens, awakens people. It's great.
Oh, talk about if I now actually will fast if I feel like I'm trying to solve a problem that I can't seem to do with my educated brain. I just fast and the answer comes like that.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
And no better way for someone to know their educated mind.
Yeah.
Fasting.
Oh yeah. All your stuff bubbles up.
Especially the first 24 hours. It's different for different people. But usually the first 24 hours are like, I just want to eat. I want to. You just watch how this thing runs its program. It's like
unbelievable.
Freaking nuts that we even can get from our house to a grocery store without our educated brain just detouring us.
It's incredible.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So share with me in the last couple of minutes that we have. Share with me your vision, like your vision of chiropractic. I know you've got kids right now, and your husband's a phenomenal guy, and your oldest daughter is looking at going into chiropractic, becoming a chiropractor. But what's your vision? Like, where do you see chiropractic going?
Well, I always tell the students that come out that when we were first in practice, there used to be a lot of people would cross their fingers and they'd be like, well, I need to go and check this out with my doctor, what you're saying. And now, fast forward 24 years later, I have people that are like, you're not going to believe what my doctor said to me. Please don't send me back there. And so we have never hit a moment in human history where people are more awake and they are looking for belief in themselves. They're not looking for a guru. They're not looking for the next best thing. They're looking to turn inward, especially at this moment in time. And I don't know any other profession that has this philosophy of inside out healing. So I think if we position this right, if we don't stay quiet, we get out and we start educating, chiropractic can just take itself to a whole nother level. I mean, that's what happened in the 1918 pandemic. If you go back and you look at how chiropractic took this huge launch after something really intense happened in the world. But we cannot stay quiet. We cannot. And what my number one rule on social media is you show up as your authentic self. The goal is not to be perfect. It doesn't matter. People want you to be real. People want you to be passionate, and they want to be taught. And if you do that, this profession is going to go to a whole nother level, and it will be primary health care. It will be the number one place people go to if we get up and start educating.
Absolutely. And I love what you did. How I'm equating it in my mind is that you just took their biggest doctor. Their doctor isn't their primary. It's not this. Everybody, the patients out there, it's all about Dr. Google, right? And you just took Dr. Google and made him your associate or her. They go on Google and next thing you know, they see fasting, Mindy Pelz, yada, yada, yada. And it just happens. And that's really your exactly right. And give them raw, give them truth, give them the information. People deserve the truth. They're demanding
yes, they do.
Truth. And we have the truth, the truth in our philosophy is so strong, just tell them the truth, like you said, be you, be you
and be passionate. I mean, I think you were the one that taught me is if you light yourself on fire, people will come to watch you burn. Yeah. And that's what, if you have this incredible, message to give to the world, just pick your darn phone up and give it to them and don't worry about yourself. Know that what you're doing is impacting lives, maybe somewhere in an Aborigines tribe down in Australia who will never exchange money with you. And that's completely fine because this is how we change the world.
Absolutely. And where there's fire, there's heat. And everybody loves to come to the heat, right?
That's right.
I want to be around it. Mindy, you are so awesome. And
thank you.
I love you, and I love your family.
I love you.
And thank you for all you're doing. You're helping the college tremendously. I know you mentor our students, and you're always available. You're doing everything you can for the profession, and I so appreciate it. It's been beautiful for me to watch your growth,
Yeah, thank you.
22 years ago to where
I was just a baby.
And I'm looking to see where you're going to be in the future, and I just know that it's going to be great, but watch you in the present, because that's all I really care about. the present is really amazing. So thank you so much. Anything
Thank
that you want to leave our viewers with?
Yeah, just if you feel the fear of wanting to go out and educate people on social media, feel the fear and do it anyways. Like, just step into it, because our time is now. It's right now. And we have never had a better moment for chiropractic, and we got to jump out and grab it.
Yeah, I love it. Well, thank you, Mindy. I appreciate
My pleasure.
you.
Thank you.
To our listeners and our viewers, thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you check out Mindy on her YouTube, watch some of her videos, go on her Instagram, join the Face Setter group, the
Resetters.
The Resetter group on Facebook. But answer the 3 questions. Make sure you answer the 3 questions so you can get in.
Yes.
Yes. That's the trap door that gets you dropped.
Yeah, it's it.
Into the group. And thank you all for listening to us and for spending some time with us. You know that we love and appreciate you. Things are, just keep loving the people around you, keep sharing the truth, keep living your life from above down and inside out. And no matter what, never underestimate the power that's within your body, because the power that's within your body is the same power that animates the universe. And that is an amazing power that we have. So I love and appreciate you all. Until next week, or the next time you see me on the Life West Leadership Line, blessings to all of you, and keep spreading the Life West Leadership Line to all that you know. Okay? See you next time.